Hey guys, welcome back to the Freelys channel. I know many of you maybe have never come across our channel, but we're actually a sewing pattern brand. So if you want to check out all of our patterns, you can just head to our website. You can find the link on the description below. But today's video is not about sewing patterns. It's actually a video I think many of you guys will love, especially if you're beginning your sewing journey. I know sewing has become a lot more trendy nowadays, and there's tons of people looking for videos on what they should do if they want to begin sewing. And I'm a fashion designer. I've been sewing for 6 years now, so I think I have some good tips to give you guys. Okay, so first of all, you do not need to buy an overlock machine or a serger, however you call it. You do not need that, honestly. It does give a more professional finish, but if you're starting out, trust me, you do not need that. You just use a zigzag stitch on your normal sewing machine, and that's going to finish off the raw edges just as well. It just won't look as nice though. Number 2, I wish someone told me this 6 years ago when I started buying every fabric I could possibly find, especially expensive ones. But please do not buy expensive fabric for your first project, especially if it's something that you're sewing for the first time. Because if you're a beginner, there's a high chance you won't like the first project you sew, and you'll be a little bit more disappointed if you use expensive fabric. There's tons of cute, affordable fabrics, so just start with those. And once you get that new fabric, even though if it's affordable, do not start sewing immediately on your cut pieces. So what I mean by that is you should always save like some scraps of that fabric to test out on your sewing machine before actually sewing the actual product. That way you'll get a chance to know how it responds to your machine, to the needle you're using, to the stitch setting, and you'll get a chance to fix that before actually sewing on the fabric you cut. This is another tip for fabric as well. Please, as soon as you buy fabric, wash it. You do not know how many times and how much it has happened that I buy fabric, I do not wash it, and I just cut it and sew my garment, for example a dress, and once I go to wash the dress and take it out of the dryer, it's smaller. This happens because a lot of fabrics actually shrink on their first wash, so it's a lot better if you just, as soon as you get the fabric, throw it into the washing machine, and after that you can cut it and sew with it. And let me introduce you to your new best friend. It's an iron. I know that sometimes you think you can just skip that step, but please don't. This is what makes your garment look professional and really nice. So as soon as you finish sewing any seam or after you wash your new fabric, please iron it before cutting it as well. The final product will just look like 10 times better. So make sure to get a good iron and to use it. Okay, many of you might not want to hear this, but you probably will mess up, especially if it's your first projects. And it's totally fine. I have messed up tons of times. I think all of my first projects I ever made, I never wore. I don't think I even have them anymore. I just don't like them at all. And I think that's a common occurrence between sewing beginners. But I wouldn't be where I am now, and I wouldn't be as good at sewing as I am now if I didn't start. Like, you'll probably not even finish some of your first sewing projects because you don't like how it's looking, or I don't know, you just don't like the result, and that's completely normal. This is one of the best tips you're going to hear. Use sewing patterns. Most sewing patterns, especially ours, comes with sewing instructions, sewing tutorials, so a video, and like guidelines to make sure that you get a perfect result. And when you use a good quality pattern, you just don't have to worry about that part, you know? So it just takes a weight off your shoulders. You know that pattern works because you know other people have used it and you have seen the results already, so you know what you're going to end up with. When practicing sewing, it's really good to just have that pattern and you can just practice your sewing using that pattern. Obviously, make sure to use a beginner-friendly pattern. You can head to our website. I recommend Camille, which is the prettiest tote bag. I think that's the ultimate beginner-friendly pattern. Highly recommended. There's also some shorts called the Bella. We also have some pants Millie, and a strapless top called Luna. All of these are perfect for beginners. And last but not least, I wish someone would have told me to practice and practice and practice sewing invisible zippers. There was a time it was the part I hated the most when sewing, and whenever I started sewing a pattern, I just knew that maybe I would mess up sewing invisible zippers. But if you really learn, trust me, that won't be an issue anymore. So every time you sew one, it'll be perfect. That's how it is for me now. At the beginning, it wasn't, obviously. I do have some tips and tricks for that, and we have a video on how to sew an invisible zipper, so make sure to check it out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think we could make a second part of this video if you guys would like. I do have tons of more sewing tips and tricks I can give to a fellow sewist, especially if you're a beginner. So just let us know if you'd like to watch more of these videos.